Yep. We should be back in the building. We should be good to go. Y'all know what to do. Shout out to the gang up in here on this Friday. We made it. We did it. We are here. Y'all know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. We're looking all crispy and clean on the screen, and we're back at it. So I should welcome you all. Welcome y'all back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show in the afternoon. We do this sometimes, okay? It's a thing. Thank you to everybody that's in here. I'm your host, ClassE, at patreon.com/ClassEbeats, by the way. Link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. And we're going to get into it. Y'all know we called it yet again. Ever since we have been covering trials on this channel, we have not missed on counting a verdict. We have not missed on calling the verdict to the T. And in this case, Donna Adelson, well, she's gonna be the prison granny. Oh man, it's tough out here for Donna Adelson. We're gonna hear from her. We're gonna see her reaction to the verdict being read. It was not good. She was not happy. We're gonna hear the impact statements, the victim impact statements from Danny's family. And then we're also gonna get into some other topics as well. So make sure y'all buckle in. It's gonna be a great show. Before I get into it, I gotta say what's up to the people though. Man, we got everybody in here. Y'all been waiting on me for like 6 hours. Oh my God. That's loyalty right there. Shout out to my awesome, amazing Amy is in the building, always showing up and showing out. We got Virginia Wiley in here. Are the names back? Oh, y'all got your names back. I know y'all are so happy. Amy said something about it earlier. So shout out to Amy. Oh man, y'all are so happy to have the names and not the ats. I don't know why YouTube did that. Les Cleaver's in here. We got Taco Tuesday is in the building. Slim Light Bombay, shout out to y'all. We got my guy J Money, J Dog is in the building. Jeremy Costa's in here. Keep It Moving New York is back at it. Good to see you. Just saying with Alicia. Good morning. Dottie is in here. Shout out to Amazing Grace. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. And thank you for being in here. I know she was only here for a minute, because she got work she got to do. But shout out to Amazing Grace. There's a bunch of y'all in here too. I want to make sure I say what's up to everybody. Hold on, I saw another name. CPE, there he is. CPE is in the building. We've got Mary is back at it. Shout out to Mary. We have, who else? Springflower, good to see you. I think I said what's up to most of y'all. We've got Allison here. My guy Mark's in the building. Paua Eyes is back in here. Kara's in the building as well. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. I've been making y'all wait long enough for the show, but I do want to ask one favor. Even though I had y'all waiting up in here for 11 hours, I please beg of you and ask you if you could like the video on your way in. Likes are free. It takes less than a second. It's easier than showing up on time. It's the ClassE Roast Show. I'm roasting myself today. And it really does help us continue to grow, guys. It lets the algorithm know you're enjoying the show, shares the video, the channel, this live stream out with more people. So if you could, please like the video. Over 600 of you have liked the video so far, so thank you. If you're feeling extra generous and you're disregarding my tardiness, you can also share the video as well. You can share it on Instagram. You can share it on Facebook, on X. You can even go so far as to send it to your group chat via text message. All right, so thank you to those of you who've done that. I see y'all sharing it. I appreciate it. It really means a lot. I will also be reading super chats as we go throughout the show. I know there's a ton of y'all that drop super chats in here this Friday, so I'm gonna read them real quick and then we'll get into what's going on with Donna Adelson. A whole lot of nothing. We've got Slim Life New Jersey in here dropping the 10 bomb. Says good morning and happy Friday, ClassE, Amy, and the rest of my amazing fam. I hope everyone had a blessed day and weekend. Big thank you to ClassE for all you do. You're the GOAT, Amy, as well. Best channel. Thank you to Slim Life, always showing up. We got CPE in here dropping the 10 bomb as well. Says have a great weekend, CEB family. Be safe, be joyous, and see everyone on Monday. Every day is a gift, but some days are packaged better. Ain't that the truth? Shout out to CPE. Shout out to Slim Life for getting those first super chats of the day in there. I appreciate y'all. We've also got Les Cleaver in here. Oh my goodness, dropping the 20 bomb with the big dog. He says, praise God for another great day. Amen. Many are hoping for two more convictions in this trial, and that's okay. Time will tell. But whatever happens, it's God's will, not ours. Praise God for this channel and the chat family. 2 more convictions Interesting, Les Cleaver. So I can think of one more conviction we're trying to get. And obviously that's for the senior witch, Wendy Adelson. No respect at all for Wendy. So that's the first one I could think of. Who is the other person y'all want to see convicted? Harvey? You think Harvey was in on this? Is that... let me know in the comments. I want to see what you're talking about over there. We've got Slim Life gifted the membership. If you got the membership gifted by Slim Life, please make sure you say thank you. All right. Show her some love. Say thank you. Giving you an opportunity to get access to the members only content and get your name highlighted in green. We've also got Spring Flowers in here with the 5 bombs. Says Friday is your reward for a week of hard work. Yes, go enjoy it. Shoot, we're working through the weekends too. And my awesome, amazing Amy in here gifting 5 memberships as well. Make sure y'all say thank you if you got gifted the membership. There's at least 6 of you who should be saying thank you in there to Amy and Slim Life. We got Just Saying with Alicia says, here's to the weekend with the 2 bomb. Be blessed all, and blessings to all of you coming in here and showing love as well. We got Amy in here with the cake. Oh man, the cake never stops with Amy. My goodness, never mind. I can't say that I can't say it on YouTube. Shout out to Amy. Thank you for the super sticker reminding me what my stomach is telling me right now. That it's past time for lunch. That's okay. We working. We got Mary in here with the 10 bomb. Dang, these super chats are going crazy. Mary said, so blessed to be a part of this group. Glad to see some justice today. Yes, we're going to get into it. I was laughing, man. I wish I wasn't at a place to where I could go live. I wish I could have went live and reacted with this to y'all in real time, but we're going to go back and review it. I know many of you have seen this happen, but I think it's fun to go through and look at it. Not fun for Danny's family, just because they lost their son, but I think it's always nice and it's a positive thing when justice is served, even if this is the result. Wish it should have never happened, but we're going to go through it either way. We've got Paua Eyes with the 2 bomb showing love. Thank you for the support as always, Paua Eyes. And then we've got my guy, J Money, Jeremy Costa in here, gifting 5 memberships. Wow. Y'all went crazy with the super chats today. My goodness, y'all are showing so much love. Thank you to everybody in here who's supporting. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll be reading super chats as we go throughout the show, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. And nothing special, just thanks to ClassE and Amy for the channel and the work. Thank y'all for supporting. I was waiting on Donna to faint. She looked like she was going to blast off. We're going to get into it. All right, we're going to talk about it. Donna was very upset. She's going to spend the rest of her life in jail. I mean, it's understandable. And obviously, she probably thinks they got it wrong, right? Well, we're going to go ahead and get into it now. So as many of you know, as many of you have seen on this channel, it's finally here. The time is here. Donna Adelson has been found guilty on all counts. What we're going to do is going to do a little bit of a rewind. We're going to go back and look at her reaction. Not only are we going to hear her reaction, but we're going to listen to the victim impact statements from Danny's family. So super sad to hear from them. They lost their son for no reason at all, really, to this evil family. Let's call it what it is. I guess we'll leave Rob out of this, right? Wendy, Charlie, Donna, and maybe some are saying Harvey. What they did was just truly unimaginable. And now Donna's having to pay the price for her involvement. Let's see what Judge Everett had to say. I'll turn the volume up so y'all can hear.
Do not want there to be any gesturing or anyone making any movements that
let me know if the sound is good.
Or disagree with the verdict. We are going to respect what the jury's decision is, and we are not going to subject them to any displays of emotion, whether it be from the gallery or the parties. If anyone believes they are not capable of following this instruction, I'd ask you to step outside at this time.
Except the defendant.
Also, as well, once the verdict is read, again, I'm going to advise you, do not have any displays of emotion. As best you can, you are in control yourself. Do you understand?
Now they're going to bring the jury in. Here we go. For those of you who haven't seen this, you think Donna's going to keep it together?
Please bring in the jurors.
You thought Donna was going to have a heart attack. She should have had a heart attack. It would save her however much time she has left. She's going to spend it in jail.
Please remain seated when the jurors come in this particular time.
And shout out to Folsa for joining on the Patreon, by the way. Judge Everett does not play around either. Look at Harvey. Harvey about to go get him a young 50-year-old thing.
Hey, yo!
He's trading Donna in.
If the jury foreperson could please rise.
Yeah, that's wrong. I shouldn't laugh. That's crazy.
Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict?
Yeah.
If you please can hand the verdict form to the bailiff. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as the count one of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself.
Ooh. Come on, Donna.
Count two. We, the jury,
Keep it
find
together.
as follows as the count two of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder.
No, don't cry now.
Count three. We, the jury, find as follows as the count three of the indictment.
Cry for Danny.
Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. And it is signed and dated by the foreperson. One moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury.
Oh man, Judge Everett said we ain't doing this, Donna. Hold her in contempt. Judge Everett, get this lady out of here. What you think was gonna happen? Let me ask y'all. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the jury got it right? I know there's some of you, and I've seen even comment sections on some of the other videos we posted here. People thought Donna was innocent. Talked about this with Amy this morning about beyond a reasonable doubt. If you think there was reasonable doubt in this case, I want you to tell me where you could find it. Because at the end of the day, Donna was innocent until proven guilty. We believed here on this channel. We called it before the verdict came. We didn't even listen to the defense's closing arguments. I'm gonna be real. We didn't listen to it on this channel. We heard what happened. We heard what went down. We heard Donna's own words. And we didn't see any reasonable doubt at all. So if you see some reasonable doubt, I want y'all to let me know where it is. Let me know if you think the jury got it right in this case. Let's go ahead and watch Donna cry up here. Jailhouse Granny. At least she gets her daughters back.
Mrs. Adelson, while
Jailhouse
this was
daughters.
not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury.
Judge
If
Everett
you
is
cannot
brutal.
control yourself, I am going to have to determine if you will be removed from the remainder of this process.
She don't want to be there anyway, Judge.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you need a moment to collect yourself?
Yes, she does.
Before the
Goodness.
jurors are brought back in, we will take a brief 2-minute break. Please give her tissues if she needs them.
Judge Everett said, get it together, Donna. A 2-minute break. Dang, Judge.
When the jurors are brought back into the room, does the defense wish to have the jurors polled before they are discharged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well.
For what? What are they going to poll him for? Get it together, Donna. I mean, let's be real. Not even her own daughter felt sorry for her. Y'all remember some of those cold emails that Wendy sent back to her mother when Charlie got locked up? We watched them. We saw him here on the channel when he was like, oh, you know, that's really unfortunate. I'm sorry that happened. If you need anything else, let me know. I'm not going to be talking about this, Mom. If you want to talk about it, you can talk to my attorney. Like, dang. Even her own daughter didn't feel sorry for Charlie, and she ain't gonna feel sorry for Donna. Nasty work, man. This family is something else. I'm glad Rob made it out. Yo, Wendy is a savage. She said your brother stuck up for you.
Please
stuck
bring
up
back
for
the
you.
jurors so we can conclude with their portion
Wendy was like,
of the trial.
So? Harvey didn't even have a reaction. Now Harvey don't care. You heard Rob's testimony. Harvey be chilling. He's like, okay, well, I mean, it is what it is. Harvey's gonna be just fine. He's probably gonna look younger after this. Harvey's gonna be Benjamin Button and start aging backwards. Charlie's over there like, well.
Members of the jury, before I discharge you for this evening, I am briefly going to poll you concerning whether your verdict is unanimous at the request of one of the parties.
Look at this man. He's like, dang, who's gonna make dinner? I got at least 3 birthday parties I gotta plan every year. Shoot. What am I gonna do with all those clothes? The clothes, man. What?
When you hear your last name, please appropriately respond.
He's like, man, what am I gonna do? It's already been rough. Maybe I'll go with Wendy. They're muting while the judge is reading the jurors' names. Look at Donna. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. And they don't want to reveal the jurors, so we gotta.
Before you are discharged, please listen carefully. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges that are enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. With that being said, I want to extend my thanks on behalf of the entire Second Circuit for your service in this matter. You are discharged. Have a good evening.
Shout out to the jurors. Let's give them a round of applause. What did it take, 4 hours? Oh man, get this lady out of here. I'm gonna be honest. I told y'all. I told you guys I did not think they were gonna have a verdict yesterday. Sure enough, they're ready to go.
As to the jury's verdict, with the jury having found the defendant guilty of the 3 charges of the indictment, is the defense asking for a pre-sentence report on counts 2 and 3. As to count 1, the penalty is statutory, and essentially there is no modification for it.
Nor should there
Yes,
be.
Your Honor.
Well, pre-sentence investigation and report is ordered by the court as to counts 2 and 3. As to count 1, is there any
Dr. Wright.
reason why we cannot proceed to sentencing on this matter?
Your Honor, we would request an opportunity to ensure that our client is okay before we proceed to sentencing. It's my understanding that Charlie Adelson wasn't sentenced right away. We're asking for the same courtesy.
Very well.
He said Charlie wasn't sentenced right
Court
away.
then will set a separate sentencing date.
Man, come on.
May I inquire whether the family members that are present would like to give victim impact now or
Oh, we're going to get to the victim impact statements here. The jury made the right decision, I believe, in my opinion. But again, I know there's some of y'all that disagree. Let me know what you think in the comments about this. Did the jury get it right? What do you think Donna's going to be sentenced to? What you think she should be sentenced to? Y'all let me know. I got a couple of super chats I got to read until we get into these victim impact statements. First of all, thank you to all 1,500 of you that are in the building. Can y'all please like the video? Likes are free. And I'm going to be begging for them until I'm no longer on YouTube. Life without parole. Can we give her like 6 of them things? We have a ton of super chats in here. Oh my goodness, y'all are going crazy. We have... Oh, see, now it's not showing all of them. Oh no. We got Ducky Dexter in here with the 2 bombs. Says, hi, ClassE. I just wanted to say guilty. Yep. I'll say it again for you too. Guilty. No doubt. We got J Money in here. Jeremy Costa says, good riddance with the 10 bomb. Enjoy a prison cell, Donna. Yeah, y'all give it up in the chat for a jailhouse granny. She's going to be up in there doing her thing. She's going to have all kinds of jailhouse daughters. Congratulations, Donna. We've also got Keep It Moving New York with the 10 bomb. Says a handsome tax coming in. Okay. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for the support. Keep it moving. Always appreciate you being in here. We've got Dr. EJ in the building as well. Gifted 10 memberships. Again, if you got a membership from Dr. EJ, make sure you say thank you. Every time he stops by the chat, he's in here showing major love, giving you guys an opportunity to get access to the members only content and get instant access to all the videos that we drop here on the channel. So big thank you to Dr. EJ. And speaking of big thank yous, oh my goodness. The awesome, the amazing, the beautiful, the wonderful, the supportive, the one who does everything. Amy just gifted 50 memberships. There's about 50 plus of y'all that should be saying thank you in the chat. Shout out to Amy for gifting those memberships. We got to give you another round of applause. Wow. She just dropped 50 memberships in there. Again, so many benefits to being a member over here. And big shout out to Amy for all she does. Y'all know some of the content that we're going to be covering today has been produced and has been sent and been brought up by Amy. She contributes so much to this show and so much to this channel. You guys don't see it. A lot of it's in the background, but you see her in there in the chat being so active. You hear a lot of the stuff we cover on the channel is because Amy puts so much into the production of the show and to growing and helping this community be greater. So big shout out and big thank you to the awesome, amazing Amy. She does it all, man. And it's so giving, so generous. My goodness. Thank you, Amy, for the love. Always. All right, let's keep it going and go ahead and get into these victim impact statements. It's getting too mushy in here. So now that we heard Donna's sentencing, we're going to go ahead and hear from Danny's parents. Very sad that they're having to deal with this and losing a son that was such an upstanding citizen. And this man was he studied at the highest level. He wanted to be an active, involved father. I mean, it's just sad to see the way this ended. And now the children, not only do they have a mother that's trying to erase their name, but as a result of it, they're going to grow up knowing and seeing that their family were the ones that took their father away. What? Y'all think about that? Nobody thinks about the kids. These kids are going to have to grow up realizing that their grandmother, their uncle, possibly their mother, possibly their grandfather, we'll have to wait and see, was involved in the murder of their father. So sad. Let's go ahead and see what the parents have to say.
Go ahead.
Better save it, Donna. Up there looking like the Green Goblin. Get her out of here. Looks like Mama's gonna go first.
It's fine. Right there in front of the lectern. If you please can identify yourself for the record.
Yes, my name is Ruth Mark. Sorry?
I'm worried you're going to trip. Just,
Okay, I already did fall. My name is Ruth Markel.
You may give your impact statement, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge Everett. To the Honorable Judge Everett, my name is Ruth Markel. I am the mother of the late Dan Markel. I stand before you today to express the profound sadness and grief that Dan's family and I have endured since his tragic murder. We have lost a treasure. My son Dan's life was cut tragically short at 41 years old. For 11 years, we have been forced to a life filled with unimaginable pain and heartbreak. Dan's father Phil and his sister Shelley share in this unending sorrow. Dan was a devoted father, brother, and son. Dan's life was marked by his devotion to family, education, and community. He was a loving, caring, and inspiring person. His academic journey included studying politics and philosophy at Harvard University, earning a master's degree later in political theory from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and the Emmanuel College in Cambridge, and later going back to Harvard to get a law degree. Dan was a prolific scholar and did start, co-founded the influential Prof's blog. His energy, drive, and sociability greatly enriched the FSU College of Law. Dan's life was filled with passion, music, dance, sports, travel, and people. But of all my son's accomplishments, however, I am most proud of the devoted father Danny was to his two sons, Benjamin and Lincoln. Dan was present, loving, and supportive, always putting his children's well-being first. He regularly attended the boys' daycares, reading with them. His office was filled with their drawings, and his home, his living room, filled with their toys. Dan was the boys' hero, and they have been forced to grow up without a father. Dan's murder has shattered our family and caused deep permanent pain. This was a particularly senseless crime, and the murder was particularly insensible. It was not revenge. Dan was a law-abiding and respectful citizen, an active father, and a living son. His life was devoted to teaching and helping others. The pain and suffering of Dan's murder goes well beyond other families too. That is why I wrote the book, The Unveiling, A Mother's Reflection on Murder, Grief, and Trial Life.
Wow.
In my unrelenting grief, I turned to advocacy, to feel purpose, and to help others with these tragic losses. I have found meaning and comfort to connect with others who want to serve justice. To all the community of journalists, TV programs, podcasters, Tallahassee communities, and the allies who have put their hearts in keeping Danny's story alive, we are full of thanks. To law enforcement and prosecutors, our gratitude is beyond for their dedicated, careful perseverance in seeking justice for Danny and our family.
They've had to
If
sit
Tallahassee is
through
known for
5 trials?
football, Tallahassee should be known for the prosecution and for law enforcement. They have done an
Donna's in shock. Y'all see her back there shaking? Shock is starting to settle in. I don't think she's gonna make it, man. I hate to interrupt Danny's mother's impact statements, but she's in shock right now. She's back there shaking. And these poor people have had to sit through 5 trials and see these photos and hear about this over and over and over and over. How this grown but 70-something-year-old grandma was talking about their son. Disgusting.
for the prosecution and for law enforcement. They have done an outstanding job. These extraordinary efforts underscore the brutal truth of our family story. Danny's murder was orchestrated by his former mother-in-law, Donna Adelson, and other co-conspirators, and is a crime of cruelty. It is a murder of grief, a murder of selfishly prioritizing one's own desires over what is just or right. And at its core, this was a murder of convenience, so that one grandmother could live closer to her grandchildren. She killed their father and ripped the children from the other grandparents' lives. Donna Adelson's crimes against Dan began long before his murder. She belittled Dan in front of his children. She spread lies about it and contributed to a brutal separation between Dan and Wendy. She rented the house, and Dan came home and he found that Wendy and the boys were gone with most of their belongings. He called this devastation Pearl Harbor. Donna's eagerness for Wendy to divorce Dan and to relocate to South Florida led her to increasingly devise desperate schemes. Despite these efforts, the court ruled that Wendy could not move the boys away from their loving father. Failing to achieve her goal through legal means, Donna finally resorted to orchestrating Dan's murder. She plotted, planned, and paid for his murder. Donna's crimes led to further devastation.
She
Her
did.
middle
Donna,
son,
you
Charlie,
signed the
was
checks.
convicted and sentenced to a life in prison for his role in facilitating Danny's murder for hire. Can you imagine a mother involving a son to complete a murder? Donna's eldest son, Rob, an honest and decent man, is estranged from the family, and her younger child, Wendy, has decided once again to relocate to another state. Her actions and those of her co-conspirators have caused children to lose their parents. Catherine McBanowitz, Freda Garcia, and Charlie Adelson, also convicted, are all convicted for life and have lost access to their children. Prior to her arrest, Donna's recorded phone calls with Charlie reveal their lack of a moral compass or capacity for self-reflection. She blames external forces for her family's curse. They're outside of her, but she is the curse, and lashes out angrily at witnesses who took the brave step to testify. Her modus operandi has always been to run.
Have
To
some
run from
respect, Donna.
Tallahassee
Dang.
and then to try to flee to Vietnam. For our family, there is no such prospect for escape. Danny's absence, and that leaves a hole at the center of our lives, no matter where we go. Yet Dan's murder was not enough for Donna. His death was not enough. Danny had to be fully erased from his beloved sons. The boy's last name was ever changed, an extraordinary decision to excise the Markel name from Phil's only grandsons who shared his last name. And after the first arrests were made, Donna didn't allow the Markel family to have access for over 6 years. It was only when there was a phenomenal Tallahassee advocacy group that passed the Markel Act. The passage of this bill was immediately followed by our first invitation to see the boys after the rest. The door only cracked open. Despite these efforts, we remain excluded from the boys' lives. We were not at their bar mitzvahs or graduations. We have extremely highly choreographed visits and communications. We only wait for the day that Benjamin and Lincoln will visit their father and his grave in his father's history and his grave in Toronto. We want nothing more. The facts of Danny's murder, are difficult to swallow. The experiences Phil, Shelley, and I have been forced to suffer are profound as homicide survivors and victims of the criminal system. The lives of Danny's 2 sons, our grandchildren, were forever turned upside down by this crime. Benjamin and Lincoln were only preschoolers when their father was murdered, and now they are forced to confront and try to understand the unthinkable crimes of murder and the Adelsons' involvement. Our lives will never return to normal. For those who loved Danny and for those who Danny loved, there is no escape from the wicked effects of what Donna Adelson set in motion, carried out, and paid for, and for many years enjoyed the aftermath of. Donna Adelson has caused immense devastation and an untimely, undeserved murder through her actions. While no trial or verdict can ever heal the profound wounds caused by Dan's murder, justice must be served. I respectfully ask the court to impose the maximum sentence on Donna Adelson.
Amen.
Her lack of cooperation and remorse throughout the case demands justice, the justice that Dan's life and memory fully deserve. We are immensely grateful to the court for its careful and compassionate deliberation. Respectively, Ruth Markel.
There it is. Shout out to
Ms.
Ruth.
Markel.
Very well
Are
said.
there any other victim impact statements this evening?
One more.
Yeah, let pops up there. Dang.
If you please could tell us your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Phil Markel. I'm Danny's father. Judge Everett, I appreciate the opportunity to speak about the impact of Donna Adelson's actions on my families and the families of so many others. While this victim impact statement is addressed to you, Your Honor, it is also intended for the Adelson family, Harvey, Charlie, Wendy, and particularly Donna. I would like them to understand and reflect on the deep and irreparable damage they have caused. The pain that they have caused my family is obvious and permanent, but they have also caused lifelong harm to their own immediate family and so many other families and children around. Donna's selfishness, cruelty, and complete disrespect for human life, along with that of her co-conspirators, have left families forever broken. Louis Rivera, his children have no father. Catherine Magbanawa and Sigfredo Garcia, their children have no parents.
Yeah, talk about
Charlie
it.
Adelson, his son, Roman, has no father. Rob Adelson and his wife and their 2 children have lost their uncle and grandparents. Shelley and Ian, my daughter, their 3 children, my grandchildren, are left without an uncle and are separated from their cousins. Of course, their heinous and callous actions have left me, Ruth, and Shelley without our Danny, and Ben and Lincoln without their father. For anyone to commit such a cold-blooded, unprovoked act of murder is horrific. For Donna, someone who claims to care so much about Ben and Lincoln, her sunshines, her actions are beyond comprehension. She has harmed forever the people she claims to have loved. In the Jewish custom, we have an expression to always wish others to live to 120 years of age. For Donna, I wish her to live to 120, alone in her jail cell. I wish that every day of her remaining days she thinks about the harm she has caused to so many, especially those 2 boys she claims to have loved so much. For these reasons, Your Honor, I ask the court sentence Donna Adelson to the maximum possible sentence. And my only short question to Donna, was it worth it?
Wow. Shout out to Pops, man. Papa Markel in here cooking her. Yes, may you live to 120 plus years in your jail cell alone. I don't think she's going to make it that far, to be honest, especially seeing her reaction here. I don't think that's going to happen. But very well spoken, well said by Papa Markel up there. And he called it. So many people affected by this woman's actions, by Katie's actions, Garcia's actions, Sig's actions, Charlie's actions, Wendy's actions, Harvey's actions. And those 2 boys she claimed to care about, where are they left now? Without a grandmother, without an uncle. Father's gone. Mother might be next. Dang. Very well said, man. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments and in the chat. Get Donna up out of there. Wow. Wow. I wanted to see Dr. EJ said something. We got 2,000 of y'all in here. Oh my goodness. Can y'all like the video or something? Likes are free. Dr. EJ said, ClassE, have you looked into the ICE raid at the Hyundai plant, large scale federal operation in Georgia? What? I heard. That targeted one of the state's largest manufacturing sites, impacting an EV battery plant. He says that will be interesting to see what comes out there in that case. Yeah, I think we're going to cover it next week, Dr. EJ, as more information comes out. Please remind me. I'm going to put it on I'm going to put in my notes as well, because that's something I've been wanting to cover. Let's see. I think that might be it. We might have a few more words
Markel?
from Dr. Everett.
Are there any other matters that the court needs to address this evening, Ms. Koppelman?
No, Your Honor.
With the PSI being ordered, the court will pronounce the sentence as to counts 2 and 3 after it's been completed. The parties have had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report and make any objections if they believe they need to. As to the 3 counts that the jury has found the defendant guilty of, I will adjudicate her guilty at this time, but the sentence will be pronounced as to the 3 counts at a later date. She is remanded for sentencing at this time. Lieutenant Henry, please notify the commander at the jail that the appropriate screening needs to take place to ensure that the defendant is in an area where she is not subject to any self-harm. For a case management date coming up, what would the parties request?
Ms. Dugan's October court date, Your Honor.
Leave that is 10/14, is that correct, Ms. Dugan?
Yes, sir.
October 14th for case management at 2:30 p.m. That will be in the normal courtroom 3B. Patricia, if you can make sure that the notice goes to DOC so they are aware that the PSI
Welcome, Denise.
needs to be completed as soon as possible. Thank you. We are in recess at this time. We will reconvene on October 14th. Have a good evening, everyone.
Yeah, the bailiff's like, get your, you know what, up. You got to go. You ain't talking to Harvey or nothing. No. Get out of there, man. Let's get out of there. Bye-bye. No. We don't watch the whole thing too. Hey. Goodbye. She gone. Let me see what y'all said. I asked the question in the chat, and thank you again to all 2,100 of you that are in here. Hey guys, before we get started with this poll, I beg for likes like crazy. It's free. All right, now so many of you have already liked the video, over 1,300 of you. Can y'all please like the video on your way in? It's free, helps us out a lot. Thank you. All right, so I asked in the chat, did the jury get it right? 91% of you said yes. Now there's still 9% of you that said no. If your answer is no, guys, this is a safe place. We are open to differing views here. We welcome it. And as long as everyone's respectful, we can have a conversation. I would love to hear from some of you that think the jury got it wrong. I'm not going to reveal the contents of the conversation I had with Amy this morning, but there is a group that believes they got it wrong, and they may or may not have legitimate reasons to thinking that. Now, which part they have wrong, they think the jury got wrong? Is it they think that she wasn't the one who planned it? Donna wasn't the one who knew about it before it happened, but she helped facilitate it afterwards. So maybe she shouldn't have been found guilty on all 3 counts. I mean, there's different ways you could go about it. So let me know what y'all think. The 9% got to be trolled. Some people, listen, you could make an argument for the jury getting it wrong. I just think Donna's defense team did an absolutely terrible, horrible job of doing that. They didn't. It was so bad. And every witness they called just made it worse. Let me read a couple super chats. Yeah, I got you, Dr. EJ. Shout out to Dr. EJ trying to get me on that 9-month plan. Dr. EJ's trying to listen. I do that, Dr. EJ. I might as well give you a refund for all the support. He'll be up in there every day. Shout out to Keep It Moving New York with the 10 bomb says, Wendy, you better go to Vietnam. She needs to go ahead and get set up over there, get that visa, get that dual citizenship, something, because them boys about to go. And we're actually, again, I mentioned Amy's contribution to the channel. We're actually going to get into the post-game interview from the awesome attorney that we saw so much throughout this trial, Georgia Kappelman, and see what she had to say about this. Some interesting stuff in this post-game interview. Their closing reminded me of Owens in the Boone case. I didn't watch that one. Scattered and yelling for no reason. No doubt in my mind that she and her son mastermind this, and that Wendy instigated them to take action. That's an interesting take, because that's more so my take. I think Amy can say in the chat what I said this morning. I think that Wendy encouraged it. Donna facilitated it, and Charlie was the actual mastermind. And he joked about it. I think when he joked about it on his own. He joked about it without anyone knowing. He was actually thinking about it. Like, hey, maybe this could happen. Then he and Donna had some in-person conversations. And even going to the argument that maybe the jury got it wrong, we really didn't get any information from Donna other than the fact that she hated Danny until after the bump. Have y'all thought about that? We possibly would have never known what was going on if the bump hadn't happened, because they did so much talking after that bump. All the recorded phone calls after the bump, all the meetings in person happened post bump. Even the payments. I mean, would they have been able to directly tie it to Charlie and Donna if the bump hadn't happened? Probably not. They would have got Katie. They would have got Sig. They would have gotten Garcia. I don't know if they would have gotten Donna or Charlie, unless Katie started singing, because Katie was the only one that knew. And I honestly think Katie would have at least snitched on Charlie. We've gotten, oh man, we got a celebrity in here. Shout out to Cat Not Williams is in the building. Said make sure you follow and show some love to Amy. Look at Cat showing up and showing love. In case y'all didn't know, Amy does have a YouTube channel. Y'all make sure you go over there and watch every single video she has. Content is absolutely amazing, especially a couple of the last videos that Amy posted. If you like watching dash cam, body cam footage, make sure you go over to Amy's channel. Link is in the description. Kat also dropped it for you in the chat. And Cat Not Williams herself is an amazing content creator as well. So go check her out. The links to both of their channels are in the description. Make sure you watch every video. Don't skip any ads. All right. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because if you don't, I'm going to find out. Okay. So make sure y'all go show them some love. The divorce records and emails were pre-bump. Donna's emails show her disdain for Danny, i.e. Yes, I agree. And that's what I was saying. The only thing we get from those emails, though, is that she just absolutely hated Danny. But as Amy mentioned this morning, Donna and Danny were still collaborating on certain co-parenting things. It just seems like there was one event that really pissed Danny off, and he's like, I don't want the kids around grandma anymore. She's calling me stupid. And then things escalated from there. But they actually in some instances had a decent relationship, it would seem. But that's definitely possible. Donna is a narcissist, probably one of the worst ones, Amy says. Oh man. And what did Judy say? Judy said Wendy planted, Donna planted, Charlie went along. Yep, I agree. And it seems like the number's going down a little bit. Now 7% of you think that the jury got it wrong. I want to see someone who says the jury got it wrong and have the conversation. Amy also says if Brian Steele was her defense attorney, she would still have been found guilty, but I think of a lesser charge. Yeah, this is one of the heaviest circumstantial evidence cases I think I've seen, just because I mean none of them really pulled the trigger, and they used a lot of coded language, but all roads come back to, well, really Wendy, which we haven't gotten to yet. Wendy, Donna, and Charlie. Kat says Donna seems like the in-law people mean when they say they have annoying in-laws. I mean, think of her as a mother, Kat. The person who spent the most time with her, Rob, the person who knew her the longest other than Harvey, he got up out of there. Rob was like, man, I'm going to New York. How far north can we go and I still have a good chance at being pretty successful? New York? Cool. I'm out of there. Rob, you can tell he did not have a good relationship with his mother. And when it came to what was going on with Charlie and Donna, he was like, hey, y'all do what you got to do. I'm going to go up here and do my thing. I'll see you at the bar mitzvahs. I'll see you at the mitzvahs. Remember, she told Isom her realtor had left the voicemail, stated Isom, they replayed it for him. But that was what she had with the tape already. They lied about what Isom said in the car. Amy says she's going to be given the granny. Oh my gosh, hey, Amy, come on, man. Jeez. It's hard to believe Harvey didn't know anything. Didn't he gift Katie a car? What? Can we watch Wendy's interview? Ugh, Wendy did an interview. Oh my gosh. Rob was estranged because Donna didn't approve of his wife. Controlling again. The generational trauma those boys will need to overcome just infuriates me. That is so sad, man. Nobody thinks, I say this all the time, nobody thinks about the kids. We don't think about those poor boys, what they have to deal with, what they have to know. And if you think they're not going to watch these trials and go through and look at the evidence and find out what happened, then you might be a little delusional there. They're going to know exactly what went on for sure. It's sad, man. Let's go ahead and get into this next segment. All right. We got to give some credit to the prosecutors in this case. We got to show some love to the prosecutors because we got a post-game interview from one of the main prosecutors in this trial, in this Donna Adelson trial. We have Georgia Kappelman up here taking the victory lap, talking about what she saw during the trial, while she was so confident, so poised, so passionate, and might be giving us a look at what's coming up next. Wendy, here we go. Here we go. They're calling her Tiger Woods.
Ask you about this. So before we ask you the question, that's
Nobody's gonna do that.
what's it like in this moment? What was it like to have this defendant be found?
Hey, Sarah.
I think I just feel kind of honored to be able to deliver this win for the Markels. You know, we've heard so much about a win for the Adelsons, a win for the Adelsons, and everything that was lost in those efforts. So it's just been really cool to be a part of this win.
During one of the pre-trials, you said these trials that have become my life. It's a lot of trials at this point. Talk
5.
about what happens when you're a prosecutor and you have to continue to follow cases like this here.
Well, I mean, I do have other cases. People don't know that. There are other cases. And I hear about, you know, all of them, but obviously this has become sort of part of my DNA after investing so much blood, sweat, and tears into this case and getting justice. So yeah, it's been an epic battle.
Was this one tougher than Charlie's trial?
I don't know. I mean, I'm older, so I think it is. I think everyone's tougher than the last.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, more time passes and there's more stuff. There's more phones. There's more records. There's more emails. So it's a lot to organize, and it's a lot of little pieces to try to put together and try to create something cognizable that a jury can follow and get their head around.
Georgia, opening statements right out of the gate, Jackie Fulford appropriated Professor Markel's nickname, calling him Danny. A lot of people were upset about that. Did that bother you?
Not as much as it bothered some other folks. I understood what she was trying to do. It was not the classiest move, and I think she realized that and seemed to correct that over the course of the trial. But yeah, probably not a great move.
And what about the amount of deliberations? It's roughly the same as Charlie, maybe a few minutes more, but not much. That surprised you because some people were predicting a longer deliberation.
A little bit. I actually lost. I thought it would be slightly shorter, but I was being pretty ambitious.
That's funny.
But yeah, it wouldn't have surprised me if it had been more difficult for
me
them
too.
because it was a large puzzle that kind of had to be put together. But I guess they got what they needed and they knew what they had to do.
Were you surprised? Sorry, go ahead.
You are asking.
Oh my gosh. I have a different question. Were you surprised by the defense strategy of throwing Wendy and Charlie under the bus? And was the adoptive admissions ruling something that you pre-planned or something that you all came up with at the last moment?
We had a few incarnations of how to deal with the fact that she had adopted Charlie's really ridiculous story previously, and we didn't want her to be able to distance herself from that and create a new, better defense, which she did seem to kind of try to be doing. So we did want to try to shove that on her and then, you know, try to explain that to the jury. Okay, here's this whole other defense that she already adopted, and it's complicated, and it has all its pushback that goes with it. So it did feel like a difficult minefield to wade through to be able to explain all that to the jury, but we wanted to make sure they understood that, hey, she's already committed to this defense that's a loser. And now she's trying to switch it up and go to this whole other place, and you got to pick a lane. You can't be both. So
Yep, not a great strategy.
That's kind of what we were trying to do. So hopefully we were successful.
And it sounded like the new investigation developed a lot of crazy evidence, including y'all were planning to use some phone calls that you were not able to use at the trial. Is the sealing of this evidence going to be unsealed once now that Donna has been convicted, or do you know?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
And you cannot still comment, I guess, about
I think
the
not,
details.
since it's sealed, right? Yes. It's less sexy than you imagine it to be, but I don't think I should comment on it since
Okay.
it's sealed by the court.
How did you feel when you found out that Donna was not going to be testifying? Something tells me you were probably salivating.
Talk
At the
about
idea of
Wendy.
cross-examining her over the last 11 years.
Yeah, it's not like I was gonna wow you guys with some amazing new stuff or anything, but I did put tons of preparation into that, so I was a little bit like sad when I took
Is
my
Wendy
binder that
next?
had 110
Somebody ask her.
packed it away. So yeah, I was a little surprised. She seems like somebody that would want to tell her story, but it gets trickier and trickier when all these stories are out there, and she would have had to.
Well, I thought about that, and I honestly think Donna should have testified. And here's why. There was so much we heard during the evidence being shown by the prosecution that came out of Donna's own mouth that you would think she would want to get up there and say, hey guys, listen, I know I said I hated Danny's guts, Professor Markel's. I know I said that I was going to, as a Jewish woman, dress them up in a certain type of thing to piss him off. I know I said I was going to get him baptized. I know I said I was going to do this, I was going to do that, and I was using coded language. It's because I was scared. Look at me. I'm 70 something. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on when this man approached me. So I called my son. I didn't know what was happening here. I knew I just wanted Danny out of the picture. So yes, as much vitriol and hate I had towards him, I did not want to see him dead. She could have said something like that. Not taking the stand to me after we heard hour after hour of these phone calls, email after email. Didn't they say over thousands, like 10,000 emails? Thousands of emails. I don't think it would have helped at the end of the day, but I think Donna needed to explain herself because she said a lot and did a lot. Oh well.
Navigate a lot of stuff to get up there. So I do understand why she made the decision she did, and I think it was a smart one, but I was kind of expecting her to testify.
What was
She
the
should've.
new evidence that you thought in this trial might have made a difference that when you came across that you introduced?
It wouldn't have helped either way.
I think the fleeing to Vietnam didn't hurt, especially since she denied it. She could have just said, yeah, I went to Vietnam. I didn't want to get arrested. But she didn't do that. She oversold. So that was
The
helpful.
VIN number and the planner. Like,
Yes.
Can you talk about that? Like, how did you guys find that? Was it an aha moment?
Yeah. Kind of dumb luck. I mean, that thing is so dense, and there's a bunch of them. So we've just been sort of perusing them, and somebody just stumbled upon it and had an aha.
It did look very bad.
And how Rob Adel's testimony, how key was that?
I think it was important, didn't you? I mean, I thought he was so genuine, and what a guy to be able to do that. What a
Shout out to
terrible
Rob.
situation for him to be put in, and to be able to rise above that and do
Rob
the right
was pissed.
thing. It's really impressive.
Did you all wait for this trial to put him on? Why did he not testify previously?
I just didn't want to do it to him unless I felt like it was absolutely necessary, and I really felt like we needed him in this one.
George, does Wendy have reason to be worried tonight?
You said that word. That's a bad word.
A bad word. Let me ask you
No,
another
no,
question.
Worried's a bad word?
Well, last time.
Should we stay tuned? Do we need to stay tuned?
I mean, you can stay tuned.
One other question.
Body language expert would say no. She shook her head no. I know, as excited as we are about it, we got to look at how this all played out. Because again, so much came out after the bump, and unless there's something we just haven't seen yet when it comes to evidence on Wendy, it really feels like Wendy covered her tracks well. We've got testimony from Rob, we've got testimony from Charlie, we've got testimony from Donna. And could that play a factor into Wendy possibly being indicted, maybe. When it comes to trial, y'all have to let me know what you think. What evidence do you think they're actually going to be able to show? Because in my opinion, there's not really a lot of evidence there. We've got the TV, we've got the alibi, but is that enough? Donna was the one who set up the appointment for Wendy to get her TV fixed. So you got to throw that out. Wendy's going to be easily able to say, oh yeah, well, I had issues with Danny, but as you heard from both of my attorneys, you know, the divorce seemed pretty straightforward. Divorces are ugly, but I wanted things, he wanted things. We went back and forth and it was coming to an end and I moved on. That immunity that she has, I see y'all mentioning it in the chat. That immunity's done for now. So anything she said in court, I mean, that's past. If they have evidence that points to her possibly being implicated in this crime, then yeah, they could still indict her. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there with the stay tuned. I get a feeling from this that it's not something they're going to pursue. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Yeah, y'all are saying you think it's done. I think it's done too. Let's continue with this interview and see what else that Georgia had to say.
Me, I mean, your father played football. I understand. What's my first Knowles game, and I take all the credit for the Bama
great
win.
one.
Yeah,
Lucky you.
I take all the credit.
Go Knowles.
And I found out maybe through the grapevine that someone else in your family is a professional female golfer, or that you're close to. I don't know if I'm sure about that. Maybe not, but do you get
Sounds cool.
do you think you get that competitive spirit from, from dad, from your family?
Yes, I think both sides of my family are extremely competitive, and if you came to game night, you would see some pieces being thrown around the room. And, yeah.
The most important question, do you have a fifth red suit?
I don't know. I'll work on that.
Number 5 of
Yeah,
5,
I'll
number
work
5.
on
Georgia,
For
can I ask you
chapter
about Charlie
5.
Adelson? Last year you were going, it seemed like the state was going to call him, and ultimately this time around no one called him to the stand. Why?
Because
good question.
we didn't want to tangle with him unless we had to, and we felt like we were able to successfully get out the story that he told at his trial and marry Donna to it as much as we needed to without having to
I wanted to hear Charlie.
tangle with him.
If I'm not mistaken, this was the first trial where you guys were able to access WhatsApp messages. Was there a new am I right about that? Was there a new technological
I can't
advance?
remember if we had any WhatsApp messages last time, but they are encrypted, so we really do have to get them off the device itself. So we were able to retrieve some threads from,
And was that
from
related to
Donna's
getting
device.
from Donna's device? Yeah.
Was your all's case more polished? The demonstratives seem to be up a notch from before.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
times
I
two.
didn't make them. I only directed. I did get.
It was
some
nice, too.
volunteer help, so I don't know if she wants a shot at it or not, but
The
Were there other things
presentation
that
was
were new and
amazing.
improved? Some of the witnesses even seem to be testifying a little smoother than before.
I don't know. Did they? I don't know.
It's a blur.
If the trial had
Yeah,
gone
it's
forward,
all one long
yeah,
day.
if the trial had gone forward a year ago, you wouldn't have all the evidence from the new investigation. How significant was to have that note from Drina Bernhardt?
I thought it was great. I thought it was,
Yes.
when she showed up with that, it was like
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Day.
They did a
Georgia,
good job.
it felt like this trial, you did mention Wendy's name more. Was that just because of who the defendant was, or is there a
Great
strategy
question.
behind more evidence against Wendy coming out?
I think it was because of who the defendant was and how important the motive was to establish, which largely arose from the communications between Donna and Wendy. So, yeah, and he ended up.
Are we going to get more Wendy?
Say a little bit about the boys. I can feel the emotion. It seemed like it really resonated with the jury when you talked about.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, there's no justice for them, and I haven't done them any favors today, and I lose sleep over that fact. It's tough. I know.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, the family's just been totally destroyed, and I hate that, you know. And sometimes it feels a little bit like being a part of it, you know. So, yeah, I wish them nothing but the best, and I hope they can reconnect with their paternal relatives and.
Jeff,
Why are you that guy?
Were you surprised by the defense strategy of throwing Wendy
Well,
and
if they
Charlie
hadn't-
under the bus? And
if they
was
hadn't
the
killed her,
adoptive
or killed
admissions
Danny, then.
ruling something that you
Oh,
pre-planned.
we jumped to a different
or something.
camera. Hold on a second. We heard some of
Last
this.
year you were going, it seemed like the state was going to call him. Ultimately, this time around, no one called him to the stand. Why?
Because
Here we go. Let's skip ahead a little bit.
Device, yeah.
Was your all's case more polished? Does the demonstrative seem to be up a notch from before?
Was that just because of who the defendant was, or is there a strategy behind more evidence against Wendy coming out?
Here we go.
I think it was because of who the defendant was and how important the motive was to establish, which largely arose from the communications between Donna and Wendy. So, Wendy ended up more in the mix.
Can you say a little bit about the boys? I can feel the emotion. It seemed like it really resonated with the jury.
Those
We talked
boys.
about.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, there's no justice for them, and I haven't done them any favors today, and I lose sleep over that fact. It's tough. I know that,
It's not your fault.
yeah, the family's just been totally destroyed, and I hate that, and sometimes it feels a little bit like being a part of it, so, yeah.
No.
I wish them nothing but the best, and I hope they can reconnect with their paternal relatives and get past this. Yep.
Georgia needs to go to sleep
Guys.
now. Georgia hasn't slept in quite a while. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
And get past this. Yep.
Georgia needs to go to sleep
Guys.
now. Georgia hasn't slept in quite a while.
Congratulations to
Y'all
all
have
of
a
you.
good night.
There it is, man. Shout out to Georgia. Shout out to the prosecution putting on a great case. Flawless, in my opinion. At the beginning, we had some trouble kind of seeing where they were going. They were able to build it up, and even said in opening, the evidence was gonna show what it showed. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. I gotta sneeze. Shout out to y'all. I want to see what y'all are saying in here. And again, thank you so much to all 2,400 of you that are in the building for this conversation. I mean, Donna's emails are so freaking unhinged. The Hitler youth uniforms would have ruined their lives if those pictures happened or ever got out. Again, nobody thinks about the kids. I keep saying that. Nobody thinks about the kids. And these two witches, Donna and Wendy, all they wanted to do was get what they wanted. Who cares how it affects the kids? And she wanted to get them baptized. Actually was surprised Harvey sat in court, but then I think he wanted to show he had no fear of being arrested and supports Donna's story. What was her sentence, by the way? I know life, but what else? She hasn't been sentenced yet. So sentencing is going to take place next month. Thank you for saying great coverage. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the great support. I question whether Harvey still has all his faculties. I don't think they will be seeking anything against him because of his mental capacity. Is he mentally incapacitated? I'm like, clinically? I don't know. I haven't heard that. They can use the facts that I think you mean Wendy, was caught in numerous lies. Yes, they can. They can't use what she said, but they can bring up the fact that her testimony contradicted her statements in earlier testimony. Yeah, but what will that really show? I mean, is that going to show her that that she had a part in this? I don't know. There's a lot they would have to do to be able to show that. Oh, they are going to pursue. They can use all the lies Wendy was caught in during her testimony. She contradicted a lot earlier. I don't think they will. It seems a lot different, Georgia's response during this time than her response during the time they asked her about Donna. So we'll see. The internet will break when Wendy is arrested. They will. They have more for Wendy that we don't know. There's a ton of reason Wendy will get a conviction. Hey, I hope so, man, because Wendy was clearly involved. I think that's just from a common sense standpoint, it's easy to see that Wendy was involved. But can you prove it beyond a reasonable doubt? I don't know, man. I don't know. In this case, the judge set a sentencing date. In another case, they didn't set a date. How long can they take to sentence someone? Yeah, they'll have sentencing in October. The reason the defense asked to wait on the sentencing is because they want time to be able to have certain conversations with Donna, and because Charlie, he wasn't sentenced right away either. In the immortal words of notorious M.A. Adelson, the Jewish. Oh man, you think Harvey's gonna be next? I don't think so. Again, we haven't seen all the evidence they have though, so I don't know if Harvey's gonna be next. But it's interesting because they did have shared email, so you have that issue, right? You have a shared email by Donna and Harvey. There were certain emails we weren't sure who sent them. You have Harvey gifting Katie a car. Well, there was a lot of factors in here that could possibly point to Harvey. I think they go after Wendy first, though. Well, the FBI already has a stoppage on her passport, and she is under 24-hour surveillance. Really? What? I did not know that. I did not know that. That's kind of wild. I had a couple other things I wanted to cover, but I might let y'all get up out of here. Let me see. Should we get into it? I could maybe get this one other topic, and then I'll set y'all free. Harvey's on video, audio with Charlie. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's what Court TV is saying. What else do we have in here? I thought that when Charlie was convicted because of the comments, but he seems spry now. Oh, you're talking about Harvey. So let's see what are the results of this poll. And I want to know y'all's thoughts on this too. So when I asked if the jury got it right, they voted guilty on all counts. 5% of you, 4% of you said no, they did not get it right. To the 4% of you, please let me know in the comments why you think they got it wrong. And then 95% of you said yes, the jury got it right. Okay. Wendy is not going to be arrested, in my opinion. I think she 100% was in on it. It's an odd posture because if tried, I think she'd be convicted, but I don't think they have probable cause. Oh, they have probable cause for sure. I just don't think they have proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Is it reasonable to think that Wendy just punched the TV one day? Sure. Is it reasonable to think she lied about what was the Lacoste dude's name? I forgot his name already. Her boyfriend. She lied about introducing him to her parents, sure. But again, those don't really point to her being guilty of somehow orchestrating Danny's murder. I don't know. They'd have to have something we haven't seen yet, in my opinion. Yeah, probable cause for sure. Thank you, Jeff Lacoste. Amy says prosecutors have referred to Harvey and Wendy, Donna's daughter, as conspirators, but have not formally charged them, so who knows? Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, we need another 2 hours. Yeah, y'all want to talk about YNWB? YNW Portland? I had a couple things on that too. But we don't know what is on Donna's WhatsApp. That is very true as well. So the lawyers asked for more time. If the judge doesn't set a date, not this case, but this judge made me question the other case, AJ Scott. A few months, okay, makes sense, but there's no date at all set. Amy says, I think Wendy knew more than Donna. Yeah, the problem is, I don't think Wendy talked more than Donna. Maybe that evidence will come out. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see. I think Wendy knew how to navigate this type of situation. She probably said at dinner to Charlie one night, hey, you know, if Danny disappears, I'm not going to be upset. And that's all it took. I mean, it seemed like Charlie was just itching to utilize his people. It's weird, man. Yes, sentencing is October 14th. That is correct. Amy says Wendy was just smarter and knows how to navigate. She said the exact same thing. Yeah. Shout out to Amy. We're on the same page. Exactly how it went down. Yep. All right, let me double check and see. Statements. I had a couple more things in here. I might just leave y'all with that and let y'all get up out of here and get started with your weekend. But it really doesn't matter because we already know she's got life. She's not getting out. Wendy played them all sick to watch. Wendy's lawyer protected her. Yeah, I mean, the immunity it had, it does have a certain weight, but I don't know. All right, y'all want to keep going. Kara says she wants to see it. All right, we'll get to this next topic then. We'll go. Let's see, how much time is this? Yeah, this is going to be, this will be a quick one. The next case, we've got Nisiah Harris coming up. That's going to be a sad case. Nisiah Harris should be coming up in a few weeks, I believe. If you guys have not watched the information on the Nisiah Harris trial, posted a lot of videos on this channel. We're actually one of the few channels covering it, surprisingly. This case is going to be insane. This is one case. I go into a lot of cases believing innocent until proven guilty, and I still will in this case. But the man in this case, he needs to be thrown under the jail just for what we saw in the pretrial hearings. It was just, or the preliminary hearings, I should say. This man is just one of the worst of the worst of the worst. So yeah, Jarvis Butts, look it up. Y'all can type in Nisiah Harris and I'm sure you'll see some of our content come up, or you can just go to the channel and search it. It's going to be wild. But we got to talk about what's going on with this YNW Melly case. We've got some more updates with YNW Melly. We've got another, oh man. We've got someone else who is named in this case with YNW Melly. And this man is facing so much time in prison. It's insane. Multiple life sentences. And it's looking like he's going to get a plea deal. Now, he still has time to accept it. We're going to get into the hearing here shortly and find out what is actually being offered to him. And is he going to accept it? Y'all check this one out. This is crazy.
871 CF10A and 2310643 CF10A. I continue to have Ms. Collins, Mr. Griffiths present for the state. Mr. Haddad present for Mr. Henry, who continues to be present. State, yes.
As a formality, state will move at this point what has been provided to Your Honor previously in evidence of State's Exhibit 1. It's the two clips that Your Honor already talked about on audio files that the state already discussed, that Your Honor reviewed by stipulation of the parties and had completely introduced that as evidence.
Defense, any objection? No. All right, without objection, Ms. Wilcox, we'll call this State's A for identification. It's going to be in evidence only for the purposes of this hearing. That's yes. State's Exhibit 1.
I have talked to the state because I had that repeatedly the day my voice about doing arguments tomorrow.
We have no objection to that. So.
That's fine.
And I may put them on.
That's fine.
But I can't talk on my video tomorrow.
State, you have no other evidence or witnesses or testimony you want to present today?
No, Your Honor, just argument.
And Mr. Haddad, whatever evidence, witnesses, or testimony
we got
you
Judge
want to present.
Fiend up here. Judge Fiend is,
you want me to do that tomorrow?
he's a good judge too.
Also, with the state motion, featuring stuff.
Oh,
Said, you know, like, I don't know what to call it.
We filed the state's motion for relief from the trial order.
Yeah, to file your motion in limine.
Correct, but I think we agreed that that's moved because he doesn't intend to call.
The two witnesses. All right, I'll handle that when we do the arguments tomorrow.
Just so Your Honor knew it wasn't something that was
Understood.
heavily litigated.
Yeah, that's fine. So the only thing I'm going to press pause on the all pending motions, and again, we're going to resume tomorrow at 9 o'clock. That's the defense motion to suppress. I'll give you a ruling on the state's unopposed motion for relief from the trial order, as well as the state's motion in limine. But I'm going to let each side continue to present whatever evidence, witnesses, or testimony they'd like to do before that. So I'm going to pause on the evidentiary portion today.
Is that his attorney?
I do want to have a quick conversation with Mr. Henry. I'm going to put him under oath. Talk to him about the charges. Make sure he understands the maximum possible penalties. Make sure he understands the state offer.
I think that's something else the defense wants to speak to him about.
Yeah, let's hear the offer.
Well, I'm going to put it on the record right now, but he doesn't have to tell me what his answer is now. But I just want to make sure he has all the info. And what I'll tell you all, I'll be back here tomorrow, and then, you know, I'm going to tell Mr. Henry this as well, but for his benefit now, if he wants to resolve the cases by way of a negotiated plea, that's fine with me. And if he doesn't want to, that's fine with me too. But the one thing that I am going to change, if you need me to, I can put him on maybe Tuesday afternoon, the 9th. I'd rather just not do it. I'd rather know yes or no the day before, because there's a significant, number one, I don't want him to feel any pressure. But number two, I got 250 citizens coming in here Wednesday morning, and there's
Tuesday
just,
afternoon is fine, Your Honor.
yeah, if need be.
I have a hearing at 3:30.
It's fee hearings, you know.
Yeah, so I don't really have to say.
But I'm going to be
Man,
here.
his attorney's looking rough.
All right, so Mr.
Goodness.
Henry, listen, I'm going to put you under oath and ask you some questions, okay? It's only going to be as it relates to the state's offer, and it's only as to make sure that you understand the state's offer and you understand the charges that you're facing here. We're not going to talk about
More than
anything
hear the
else.
offer.
So just listen to my questions and answer the questions, okay? Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your full name. How old are you? How far did you go in school? Do you read and understand the English language? Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication,
26,
or alcohol?
man.
Have you ever been treated for a mental illness? Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now? All right. How are you feeling this morning? Your head is clear? You understand what's going on? All right. So, Mr. Henry, listen, you got two cases. I'm going to go one at a time. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, right now, you're charged as follows. Counts 1 and 2 is murder in the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital felonies, which means it's a mandatory life sentence. If the jury convicts you of count 1 or count 2 as charged, that's life in Florida State Prison. I have no discretion. Count 3 and count 4 are accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree. Those are each first degree felony.
The getaway.
The maximum penalty for each of those is 30 years in Florida State Prison. Okay? In your other case, which is case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're charged as follows. Count 1 is tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida State Prison. All right? As the maximum penalty. Count 2 is directing the activities of a criminal gang. That's a first degree felony punishable by life. So the maximum penalty there is also life in Florida State Prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering, and again, as it's charged, that is also a life felony. The maximum penalty is life in Florida State Prison. And lastly, count 7 is unlawful use of a two-way communication device. As that's charged, the second degree felony. The maximum penalty is 15 years in Florida State Prison. So right now, as to all the charges that you're facing, the maximum possible penalties are as follows. It's life in Florida State Prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State Prison.
Jesus.
Do you understand the charges and the max?
Wait, how many fingers was that? Did I say 6? No, that was 5. 5 life sentences plus 75 years. Oh my goodness. So what's the offer? This man is looking at 5 life sentences plus 75 years. Listen, if this offer is less than 20 years, you better take that deal, man.
Florida State Prison. Do you understand the charges and the maximum possible penalties involved?
Goodness.
Okay. So, Mr. Henry, the state is telling me that they're extending an offer to you, and the offer is as follows.
Here we go.
In case number 19-1871 CF10A, they're going to null process or drop counts 1 and 2, both first-degree murder charges. Okay?
So that's 2 life
and in
sentences
exchange
gone.
for that, as to counts 3 and 4, in that case, the accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree, you're going to plead no contest to both of those. And as to the 4 counts in case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 of those counts. And in exchange for all of that, the state is offering that I would adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to the bottom of your sentencing guidelines, which is 195.45 months, about 16, it's a shade over 16 years and 3 months. 16 years and 3 months. All of those sentences will run concurrently, that is at the same time with each other. I would give you credit for all the time that you have served, understanding that you have a lot less credit time on the 23 case because it's a newer case. So that is what would be controlling. Whatever credit time you have on the 23 case, you could subtract that from the 100
I think he actually has more time on the 23 case than the 19 because he's out of custody.
Oh, okay. Well, whichever case you have more time, less time in custody, that's what would happen. And you get the credit for all the time that you've served. And again, that sentence would be 16 years,
How long
a
has he
shade
been
over
in?
16 years, 3 months in Florida State Prison. I would have to order restitution. The state would tell me the amount of that restitution. That restitution would be joint and several with any of your other co-defendants. If any of the other co-defendants were convicted at trial or entered pleas. In other words, the restitution only has to be paid once, but each person's responsible for 100% of it. All right, but as soon as it's paid, it's paid. I would have to impose mandatory court costs in each case, and I would have to impose a mandatory cost of prosecution in each case, which is $100.
He's been in there 8 years?
Mr. Henry, do you understand?
Yo, oh man, I gotta ask y'all a question. So Mr. Henry, I believe he's been in jail for, is it 8 years, really? Let me double check and see. I think he's been in jail for about 8 years. Which, if I'm hearing the judge right, he would get credit for time served. Is he saying it would then take it down to 16 years? Or I would take it down to 8 years. Okay, either way, I'm gonna have to do some research on this. It sounds like he's looking at 16 years after he gets the credit for his time served. If you guys are facing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 life sentences plus 75 years, and you're offered 16 years, if you're innocent, are you taking that deal? If you're innocent, are y'all taking that deal? Hold on a second. Because we're all trying to double check and make sure we got this right. Let's see what Judge Fiend had to say one more time.
The charges and the maximum possible penalties involved. Okay. So, Mr. Henry, the state is telling me that they're extending an offer to you, and the offer is as follows. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, they're going to null process or drop counts 1 and 2, both first-degree murder charges. Okay?
That's 2 life sentences.
And in exchange for that, as to counts 3 and 4, in that case, the accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree, you're going to plead no contest to both of those. And as to the 4 counts in case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 of those counts. And in exchange for all of that, the state is offering that I would adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to the bottom of your sentencing guidelines, which is 195.45 months, about 16, it's a shade over 16 years and 3 months. 16 years and 3 months. All of those sentences will run concurrently, that is at the same time with each other. I would give you credit for all the time that you have served, understanding that you have a lot less credit time on the 23 case because it's a newer case. So that is what would be controlling. Whatever credit time you have on the 23 case, you could subtract that from the 100
I think he actually has more time on the 23 case than the 19 because he's out of custody.
Oh, okay. Well, whichever case you have more time, less time in custody, that's what would happen. And you get the credit for all the time that you've served. And again, that sentence would be 16 years, a shade over 16 years, 3 months in Florida State Prison.
Okay, so there was another case that was started. So we would have to do some lawyer math, which we ain't doing. But it sounds like it would be less than 16 years. I don't think it'll be 8 years because they're saying it sounds like there was something that happened in 2023. Not sure what's going on there. This is a tough decision. You're looking at facing 5 life sentences, and this is the maximum. Okay, so keep that in mind. And 75 years, or you do a cool 16. You're gonna be 42 when you get out. You'll have plenty of life to live. Plenty of life to live if you get out at 42. Y'all say no in the chat, but when you in them chains and that red and those handcuffs, I don't know.
But after order restitution, the state would tell me the amount of that restitution. That restitution would be joint and several with any of your other co-defendants if any of the other co-defendants were convicted at trial or entered pleas. In other words, the restitution only has to be paid once, but each person's responsible for 100% of it. All right, but as soon as it's paid, it's paid. I would have to impose mandatory court costs in each case, and I would have to impose a mandatory cost of prosecution in each case, which is $100. So, Mr. Henry, do you understand the offer that the state is making to you? Okay, the 16 years, 3 months, and a shade more. So I'm going to pause on it at this point, Mr. Henry. It's going to give you some time, whether that be tonight or also over the weekend, to talk to your lawyers about it. Make sure they answer all your questions. Talk to your family about it so you can make a decision as to what you want to do. Now, let me explain this to you, sir. I can't make the state make you an offer, and I can't make you accept any offer. I'm just the referee, okay? This is a business decision between you, your lawyers, and the state. And if you want to accept it and resolve both cases that way, that's fine with me. And if you want to have a trial in both cases, that's fine with me too. It doesn't matter to me in any way, shape, or form. But whether it be tomorrow, when I see you tomorrow, and then Ms. Wilcox, she already has tomorrow at 9 o'clock, that'll remain on. But I'll put them on both cases as well next Tuesday, which is September the 9th. Let's just call it 1:30 in the afternoon. September the 9th at 1:30 in the afternoon. We'll call it trial status in both cases. That's when we're gonna have to finish this conversation, Mr. Henry, and you're gonna have to tell me that either that you understand the offer that the state's making, that your lawyers have answered your questions about it, and then you're gonna have to tell me what your decision is, whether you want to accept the offer or whether you want to reject the offer. Mr. Henry, the one additional thing that I like to talk to people who are sitting in this situation that you're sitting in right now and have this conversation is as follows. The reason that I'm doing this is because I want the record to be clear what the state's offer was, and the record to be clear that you understood it and that you had enough time to talk to your lawyers about it. You had enough time to talk to your family about it. You weren't under any pressure to make a decision, whatever you thought was in your best interest. Because it goes kind of like this. And I'm sure your lawyers could speak to it better than I can. If you accept the state's offer, that's fine. And again, if you don't accept it, that's fine too. But if you don't accept it, and one of these trials doesn't go your way, and you end up with life in Florida State Prison, which is a mandatory sentence on a lot of these counts, usually people in that situation, then they'll file what's called a motion for post-conviction relief, and they'll say, hey, Judge, my lawyer never told me. I didn't know that I could resolve all this for 16 years and 3 months. And if they would have told me that, I would have done it. And now I'm sitting here with a life sentence. Yeah. So that's the reason I'm having this conversation now. So the record's going to be crystal clear on that issue. If it doesn't go your way, that argument's not going to be available to you to come back and say, hey, my lawyers didn't tell me about this, or I didn't know about this. So that's why I'm talking to you about it now. So, Mr. Henry, do you have any questions for me about the maximum possible penalties involved or what the state's offer is to you as we're talking about it right now? Okay. All right. So I'm going to pause on that part of the conversation, and we'll finish that other part of the conversation either tomorrow or next Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to leave you on for tomorrow, all pending motions, which is September the 5th at 9 o'clock. I have one other matter that I need to handle prior to that with Mr. Gibson and Mr. Percio. I don't imagine that's going to take too long. And then I'll be right with you all tomorrow. And then Ms. Wilcox.
Oh, shout out to Judge Fiend. What would y'all do in this situation? My Lord. If Mr. Henry is innocent, y'all are saying, a lot of you are saying, don't take the deal. 5 life sentences and 75 years. I've seen people fold under less pressure. Time after time after time. What are y'all doing in the situation? I gots to know. Let me know what you think in the comments in the chat. And we're actually going to get into some of the coverage from today too. Shouldn't be too much. We'll probably go for another 30 minutes because I want to hear what Mr. Henry has to say. So this actually happened earlier today. 16 years, man. Valencia said, I'm taking that deal. Shoot. I might take it. I might be like, baby, I'll see you in about 10. Shout out to Cat Not Williams gifting 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Cat Not Williams, not only should you say thank you, not only should you check out some of the members only content, but you should also go over to Cat's channel and show her some love. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time that she goes live or drops a new video. Also watch all the other content she has over there as well. Cat, I think you covered this in probably more exquisite detail than I did here. So I think Cat was live earlier while I was over here scrambling. So I think Cat was live earlier. She's probably going to give you guys, way more insight into what's going on with this case and what the litigation means and the back and forth between the defense and the prosecution. So make sure y'all go check her out. And I'll definitely be rewatching over there as well. Shout out to Cat Not Williams. We've also got, we got a new timer in here. Shout out to Spoonie with the cause, says, with the 5 bomb. Kind of new as far as chat goes, but I've been watching for over a year. Wow. Love your channel. Thank you for being here. Spoonie, I appreciate you. And also drops a 2 bomb super sticker and says, thanks. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. And glad you made it to the chat. Exquisite was the only word I could think of. Amy said, and I'll be at every conjugal visit. What I'm talking about. Thank you. Yeah, we gonna try and hold on for about 10 years. As long as they don't put me in Rice Street, I'll be good. Exquisite wasn't the word. What was the word I was looking for? Eloquent is the word I think I was looking for. Shout out to Amy with the conjugal physics, man. Hey, yo, let's get it. All right, here we go. So now that we heard that Mr. Henry is not, I don't know how to say this. It has an impossible decision to make. Either he can put his life in the hands of 12 people and face 5 life sentences and 75 years, or he can do this. He can grab one of these and he can sign on the dotted line that he's only going to sit in jail for 16, maybe 10, maybe 11. Who knows how long he would actually be in there for. And he can try and make it and be out when he's 42. The decision is absolutely impossible. Some people are saying, oh, well, it looks like that means the state's case is weak. Maybe. Some people are saying, no, if he's innocent, he shouldn't take that deal. It's possible. Others are saying, I would take that deal right now. I'm one of those people. So let's get into what happened in this hearing today and see what Mr. Henry has to say about his fate. Jeez, man.
As well as the top of my page 3, State versus Cortland Henry, 19-1871 CF10A and 23-10643 CF10A. I continue to have Ms. Collins and Mr. Griffiths present for the state. Mr. Haddad and Mr. Nascimento present for Mr. Henry, who likewise is present. So I heard the evidence yesterday in the defense's pending motion to suppress statements of Cortland Henry. State, am I still correct? There's no other additional evidence, witnesses, or testimony you would like to present as to that motion? Correct. And defense, there is no additional evidence, witnesses, or testimony you would like to present as to that motion?
We would like to present the testimony of defendant Mr. Henry for the limited purpose of what happened.
Okay, no problem. Mike, can you hear him over there? Or do you want me to do it? Yeah, Mr. Henry, you can stay right there with your lawyers. Just speak loudly, okay? So we won't hear the answers.
All right, let's hear what he has to say.
Just Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you put your hand down. Please state your full name and spell your full name.
My name is Cortlandt, C-O-R-T-L-E-N,
Okay. Sir, you may inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Henry, we just want to talk about what happened in the hospital on October 26, 2018. Do you recall driving to the hospital? If you got to speak up and answer yes or no, so this happened.
Yes.
Okay. And then at some point, when you were brought to the hospital, were you placed into a room? When you were placed in that room, approximately how many officers were present?
5 or 6.
Minimum?
5 or 6.
And approximately, if you can remember, how long were you in the hospital prior to the 2 detectives arriving and speaking to you? So you were there for a little bit before they got here.
Oh, wait, what did you say?
The detectives.
The text when you talked to me?
And describe to me the room that you were in. Was it were you there by yourself with other people in the room?
It was like a private hospital room. Probably maybe like 4 different officers in the room. And then like, they had some outside of the room.
While you were in that hospital room at any time.
Great point, Kat.
Yes.
Do you recall who placed you in handcuffs?
One of the officers.
You're saying one of the officers. Are you differentiating officer versus detective?
Yes. One of the officers that were standing in the room.
Okay. And while you were in that room prior to giving your statement, was there always an officer in the room?
Yes.
And at any time, were there any officers in the doorway?
Yes.
What were they doing?
They were just standing there.
At any time prior to giving your statement, did you feel as though you had the ability to get up and leave?
No.
What do you think, in your mind, what was your impression that would have happened
PCP.
if you tried to leave?
They wouldn't let me go.
Prior to the you giving your statement to the officer, the detectives, at some point were the handcuffs taken off?
Yes.
Why?
They want me to go and take, they want me to go to
At the urine set? Okay. Was there a bathroom inside the hospital room?
No, they walked me.
Okay, you said they walked you out, one of the officers?
One of the officers, one of the deputies that was standing guard in the wing, they walked me out.
Yeah, they're definitely overcharging him. I agree with that.
Okay. And then
But we're
that-
talking
at the time
maximum
when you provided
sentences
the urine
here.
sample, was there always an officer with you?
Yes.
And after you gave the urine sample, did you get brought back to the room? And then at some point, there are 2 detectives that come in, right?
Yes.
At any time during your interaction with those detectives, did they tell you to agree to leave? Judge, I have no further question.
Okay, cross-examination, go ahead.
Mr. Henry, you were taken into the hospital room for medical treatment, correct?
Yes.
You're aware that there is no urine sample in evidence, or collected in evidence.
As loud as you can, sir.
No, I'm not aware.
You stated you were handcuffed. How long were you handcuffed for?
Then most of the time I was there. In the room close to the hospital.
So you were handcuffed for over 2 hours in that room, which you're testifying to.
Yes, until they said I could go. Until the police said I could leave, so I could.
Did you ever try to leave?
No.
Did you ever ask to leave? Did you ever discuss with the nurses that you wanted to leave? I'm going to show you what's being marked as states. seen for evidence. Do you recognize this picture? Who's that a picture of? And where are you? Are you wearing handcuffs in this picture? This time I move states B into evidence in states 2.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, states B for identification is now going to be in evidence. That's states exhibit 2, only for the purposes of this hearing.
Mr. Henry, you agreed to ride with Detective Toyota after the crime scene? Where you said the crime occurred? Did you ride with Detective Toyota, who testified yesterday, out where you said the crime scene occurred?
Yes.
And you were seated in the front seat with him?
Which I'm going to object, it's outside the scope.
Well, it is outside the scope, but over the defense's objection. Go ahead, sir. You can answer the question.
You did not ride with Detective Toyota?
I didn't ride in the front seat.
You were in the back seat? Okay. And at the end of your interviews with the detectives, they offered you a ride home, correct? They did not offer you a ride home? And they did not give you, law enforcement did not give you a ride home? No further questions.
All right, based on that, any redirect?
Judge, just briefly on the photo.
Yeah, just go for it.
Mr. Henry, this photo that you were shown of you in the hospital, do you recall pictures being taken of you? Do you recall the officers taking photos of you? Was this taken before or after the handcuffs were taken?
Objection, Your Honor, I said it doesn't recall this was taken.
Hold on. Over the state's objection. Go ahead, sir. What's your answer to that question?
You said you recall some photos being taken of you. Those photos that you recall being taken, were they taken before or after the handcuffs were taken? After. No further questions.
Based on that, any recross?
No.
Mr. Henry, I got a couple questions for you. You didn't get arrested that day, correct? How'd you get home? Someone came and picked you up from the hospital? And do you know what the time period was between that day and when you actually did get arrested?
That was October 26th. I was arrested January.
Thank you, JM.
All right, State, based on my questions, do you have any additional questions?
No.
Defense, based on my questions, do you have any additional questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, any additional evidence, witnesses, or testimony regarding the motion to suppress?
Well, is he going to take it or what?
So it's just argument. So, defense, it's your motion, so when you're ready, take your time. Your argument in support of your motion to suppress, and I assume you want to suppress both. I heard, which I think is contained on State's Exhibit 1. For this hearing, there's two statements. There's a longer statement that's about 40-something minutes, and then there's a very short one, which is like 2.5 minutes. You want to suppress everything? Okay, go ahead, sir.
He was not Mirandized, as we know. I think the state is stipulated to that. But what the issue is obviously, he was not at the police station. It's an issue of whether he was in a situation where he should have been Mirandized. Whether the interrogation, as it were, constitutes an interrogation, whether or not it was custodial. Now, the defendant, the police had a shooting. We heard the testimony that a car arrived at the hospital with two bodies in it. Mr. Henry was driving the car. Two bodies were taken into the hospital. Mr. Henry was taken into the hospital. And he told the nurse or somebody that was there that there was a drive-by shooting, and he explained to them where it happened. We know from what the detectives testified, other police people, personnel, that were present and talked to Mr. Henry, then went out and walked the scene, canvassed the scene, looking for evidence of a drive-by shooting. They were unable to find evidence of the drive-by shooting, and the detectives came and talked to Mr. Henry. You've heard the tape, and I just want to quote from the transcript of it. The defendant is confronted with, as he said, and the police corroborated there were at least five or six cops in the room, everybody around him. He was in a situation where he's, I'm gonna call it a custodial situation when we get to that point. But at any rate, the statement was, the defendant is confronted with Bertrand and Moretti. Hey, Henry. Hey, man, how you doing? What's up, man? How you guys doing? Hey, my name's Detective Bertrand, and this is Detective Mark Moretti. We're here to talk to you about what happened, okay? Listen, you need to be straight up with us and tell us what happened here. My understanding, you told these officers something, but the evidence doesn't show that happened right here. That's confronting the defendant with something that's implying Moretti said he committed a crime there. He was lying to the police. So we know that they're confronting him with evidence of falsehood. Should he have been Mirandized, because the rest of the statement is what they're using to formulate the rest of the case. And I would submit to the court that the police had a duty to Mirandize him under that situation. They formulated, they have a crime, there's no question a crime committed, occurred. They called it crime scene.
I just realized my mic was muted. Kat said he has till the 9th to decide, which is Tuesday.
Half the Miramar Police Department were there, 5 or 6 people were guarding him. He's in a situation where any person would feel they were not free to leave. He's in a hospital where people, he said there were 4 in the room with him. The detective corroborated there were a bunch of policemen with around him. Was there a duty to Mirandize him? I submit to the court that in this situation, the defendant was, well, quoting from Hunter, Miranda warnings are required when an individual is undergoing custodial interrogation. As this court, this is the Supreme Court, as this court has explained, a person is in custody if a reasonable person placed in the same situation to his or her freedom of action was curtailed to a degree associated with the actual arrest. The proper inquiry is not the unarticulated plan of the police, but how a reasonable person in the suspect's position would have perceived the situation. Would a reasonable person in the situation of Mr. Henry have felt like he was not free to leave? Would he have felt like he was under arrest? The answer is obviously yes. He's there, some crime occurred. Is in a situation where the police are telling him they don't believe what he said happened. They made it clear that
his lawyer just left the bar and came straight to court. Oh man.
How would a reasonable person perceive the situation? You're in a hospital bed, you have policemen all around you, you're being accused of lying to the police. Would a person perceive the situation as one where they're free to leave? I submit to the court on the totality of circumstances, they would not. I concede the case and state that a hospital room is not necessarily the equivalent of a police station, but it's not the place where the inquiry occurred. It's how the inquiry occurred and what the situation is, how the suspect perceives. Any reasonable person, it's a reasonable man's standard as to whether a person would reasonably believe they were in a situation.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Just pause 1 second. This is Martin.
What happened? What are we pausing for, Judge? His attorney looks like he's about to retire in 60 days. Oh man, now we're going to the marble. That's an amazing backdrop, by the way.
Regarding a medical issue, I'm going to take the call. I apologize. Go ahead. I'd like to go to Russ versus State, which the state relied on it so heavily in its motion because it was a hospital situation. The court stated, quite correctly, police are not required to give Miranda to every potential suspect. Miranda warnings only apply in custody investigation court cases. Then it goes on to say the reasons for Miranda warnings at this stage because interrogation, certain custodial circumstances inherently coerced. State may, under these circumstances, are inadmissible unless the suspect is specifically warned of Miranda rights until he decides to waive his rights. And then it says, for Miranda purposes, custodial question interrogation means questions initiated by law enforcement officer after a person has been taken into custody or the courtly is otherwise deprived of his freedom of action anyway. The determination of whether a person is in custody for purposes of Miranda is how a reasonable person in the suspect's situation would perceive his circumstances, relying on Yarborough in those cases. A person is in custody, quoting from Hunter, a person in custody if a reasonable person in the same position would believe that his or her action, freedom of action, was curtailed to a degree associated with actual arrest. And I quoted that before. And that's the situation we have here. The defendant is in a room. He is confronted by the police that they don't believe what he's telling them. That he's lying to them and they have to come clean. And
police were harassing this poor man.
He's surrounded by a bunch of police. He goes to the bathroom. He has police taking him to the bathroom. He's in a room where the police agree it's surrounded by police. They said there's a bunch of police. 4 or 5 sound reasonable from what the defendant is saying. They're consistent with what Moretti testified to. It's how many police are here. He's in a room. It's a confined place. He's got policemen around him, and he's confronted with evidence that he's lied to the police. Should he have been Mirandized? Absolutely. It's a statement that is going to be used against him in the obstruction case or accessory case. He should have been Mirandized. I think under the circumstances testified to as to how this occurred, the defense will cut up the Miranda warnings under all the cases given. Thank you.
Yes, Judge. Starting with Mr. Henry's testimony, he's clearly not being forthright with the court. As Inspector Cox, or Officer Cox testified to, when he first got to the scene, Mr. Henry was sitting outside on a stone bench when he went over and asked him what was going on. When he is questioned in the room by the detectives, they testified that he is not handcuffed. In the photograph, he is not handcuffed. Detective Toyota takes him on a ride. If he was really a security risk, if he was really somebody they thought was a suspect, Detective Toyota never would have taken him on that ride, and they never would have offered him a ride home. That offer for the ride home is at the end of that recording, where they say, like, we're going to make arrangements to take you home. He was not a suspect. As the officers all, excuse me, the officers all testified, they thought he was a victim. He was receiving medical treatment because, as the defendant stated, he was among the people being shot at. So when we look at whether something is custodial or not, it's the Ramirez test, it's outlined in Ross, which is the manner in which the police summoned him for questioning. He was not summoned. He brought himself to the hospital. The hospital was a crime scene. There were officers there. Crime scene was there. They were processing the vehicle. They were processing the deceased. They were processing for evidence, potentially evidence physically located on Mr. Henry as a victim. The fact that the court heard the purpose, place, and manner of the questioning. This questioning was non-confrontational. He's not confronted with any evidence. They're not saying, you know, we found bullet casings, not saying we found GSR. The confrontation is, we don't think this happened where you said it happened. And if you look at the transcript, you can see that. Because on page 9 of the transcript, they're like, look, here's a crude drawing. Did you guys get off the ramp here? Did you drive past the Chick-fil-A? They're trying to figure out where this happened. As I think 2 of the officers joked, we were trying to figure out if we even had jurisdiction over this case, depending upon where it actually occurred. There were not 5 or 6 officers in the room. That never happened. What the officer said, testified to, is that there were officers around, you know, nearby, and there were, because this was a crime scene. There was an active shooter loose, based upon what Mr. Henry told police, because he was a victim of a drive-by, which means somebody is driving around shooting up vehicles. So of course police are going to respond to that. But he's not confronted with any evidence of guilt, and even if he is, of course, considering that, as I cite to in, Pitts,
I think I would take the deal
very
too.
parallel to this case at the end of my first section for issue 1, is even if they are confronted with some evidence of criminal activity, that does not necessarily transform it into a custodial interrogation. He's not confronted with any evidence of him committing a crime. It's just, did this happen where you say it is? And when we look at the entire context of the conversation, the tone, the manner, this is not an aggressive confrontation of him being a suspect. This is, tell us what happened. Where's the location? Who were the victims? What, did anybody have a beef with you? Are you posting on social media? They're trying to figure out what happened, what is going on, the basics of the investigation. And I believe all three witnesses testified, we believe he was a victim at the time of that. It's a reasonable person standard. The fact that he is having, documenting his injuries, that's normal in nearly any crime. A victim of domestic violence is going to have their injuries photographed. A victim of domestic sexual battery is going to be transported to the Sexual Assault Treatment Center for potential examination. And they have the right to refuse, which is what the officers testified to. Had he wanted to refuse, we would have abided by that. There's no evidence, there's no evidence supporting that this was a custodial interrogation or ever transformed into a custodial interrogation. Miranda warnings were never required for this because, as the officers testified to, at the time that they were questioning him, they believed Mr. Henry to be a victim of this.
Yeah, he's rolling his eyes because he said, man, so we should just believe him? What about what I said?
Thanks, I'll give you the last word. But if I may, I have to disagree with the statements. I do think that the beginning portions of the transcript were replete with instances of the detectives confronting Mr. Henry with what they believe evidence of him lying and not telling the true story of what happened to him. We see it in the second question. First question is Henry. The second question is the evidence doesn't show that it happened there. You lied to us. You're not telling us the truth. If you want to page 3, we see them confront him on the bottom. Here's the hard part. We're having a real hard time trying to understand is that we shut down the entire area. We had officers on the shoulder walking out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They go on, but they end with nothing to what you said adds up. You're lying, Mr. Henry. You're not telling us the truth. We think there's more to this. Later on, they go on. We should expect to find evidence here. And it's environment. Right now, there's nothing. Okay. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information that something else happened on the east side of the city. But it sounds similar to your thing, but you need to tell us. You need to be straight up with us, okay? Next question. You're doing your friends a disservice. So repeated examples of them telling you at the beginning of the statement, what you said to us is untrue. You are lying to us. We've done an investigation. The evidence that we have doesn't match what you're saying. We're confronting you now with the lack of evidence to support your story. So clearly, they're confronting him with evidence of his guilt or involvement in some way in either the accessory after or the murder itself. And as far as arranging for a ride to go home and being in a ride along with the officers, that matters not as to what the environment was when Mr. Henry gave his statement in that hospital room. He has testified to this court, he does not feel this free to leave. This court's going to evaluate that based on a reasonable person standard in his position. Whether or not he's in handcuffs when the statement occurs, again, matters not. For officers, he was not free to leave the hospital room to go to the restroom. I think it's easy to understand that had he stood up and walked out of the hospital, they would have stopped him. He had been there for some time before the statement occurred. They were collecting evidence. There was a crime scene, including evidence, GSR from his hands, taking his clothes, things of that nature. Things that a reasonable person would not understand to be happening to a victim of a crime, but someone who may be a suspect of a crime. And at the very end, Judge, whether the officers have testified they believe him to be a suspect or not matters not, as the case law tells us in Stansbury versus California, 511 U.S. 318. The police officer's subjective view of the individual is not bearing on whether or not the person believed they were in custody, whether they express it or not to you.
All right, we're gonna end it there. We'll listen to a little bit more of this hearing probably on the next show. Gonna be interesting to see what happens. We'll be back to cover this on Tuesday specifically because we're gonna find out if he's going to take the deal. I think he should. Again, let me know what y'all think in the comments in the chat. Shout out to the gang. Y'all have been amazing, man. Thank you all for liking the video. Thank you for supporting. We're here every weekday. All right. So y'all don't miss out. Make sure if you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time that we go live or drop a new video. Big thank you and shout out again to everybody who liked the video, and special thank you to everyone who supported over on the super chats, man. Slim Life, CPE, Cat Not Williams, Les Cleaver, my guy, Just Saying with Alicia, Mary, Paua Eyes, J Money in the building. Jeremy Costa is up in here. We had Dr. EJ showing mad love. Ducky Dexter, Keep It Moving, New York. We had the new timer in here, Spoonie with the cause. And then shout out to Lisa over there as well. And then we got Amy in there in the clutch, dropping the banana. You know what time it is. I hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon, a great rest of your weekend. We're going to be live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of the Song the Night Live. So if you're interested in hearing some music from the independent artists in the community, make sure you check it out. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have some trivia as well. Tune in for the trivia. And it's just a great opportunity for you to be involved and engaged with some of the amazing artists who found this channel and who really helped start this channel as well. I hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. And as always, you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We go. Peace. Shout out to the gang.